Here's Phil to tell you more.
I've been coughing the whole time, so I'm trying to get my breath here. Jasper, do not lick my water. How dare you? FYI, I have been using the exact same PC for 10 years. When I moved out here in 2014 to Washington State, where I've now lived for a decade, I was using my PC same one I was using for like maybe 3 years or more in Connecticut. And the PC was already starting to have problems. It was sometimes not turning on properly and just giving me issues in general. And so, considering that I had moved out here and upgraded everything else, basically furnished the entire house, I also decided to do a full setup upgrade. So I bought a new PC, a new microphone, new soundproofing foam for all the walls of this room, and lots of different stuff.
And I blew a lot of money and basically got into a lot of debt and issues.
The PC was essentially supposed to be for gaming. Yes, it was supposed to be able to run high-end PC games and for capturing and streaming. What I think people underestimated at the time was the fact that I do things a little differently from everybody else. When other people stream, typically they are just doing one capturing process. And then when they're done streaming, they turn off their stream, and their stream becomes an archived on-demand video on YouTube that you can watch.
I don't do that.
Why? Because I'm different. I started off as an on-demand YouTuber, meaning I didn't live stream. And because of that, I always had my playthroughs in on-demand digestible videos, right? Titled, thumbnail, etc. In a playlist, numbered, so you can watch it in order and resume where you left off. Very, very different from what a lot of people do when they stream. They just turn on the stream, turn it off, done. Here's my archive. Go watch it whenever you want. The reason I don't like doing it that way, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, my audience, who has been with me since the beginning, 15, 16 years now, is used to me doing it in a certain way. And it's the way that everyone used to do it before everyone became a live streamer. I personally feel it's more professional to do it that way. An anonymous gifter who gifted us up to handheld fat guy. Well, I don't know who the hell you're talking about, because I'm certainly not getting my handheld. I'm not fat, so fuck up. To have it titled, numbered, thumbnail, playlist, in order, easy to resume.
Easy to eat.
Not just a raw archive video. That's number one. I just think I have a big audience of people who are used to that, and they're not going to be very happy if I completely change my entire methodology of how I make content because I'm a streamer now. That's number one. Number two, the raw stream archive method, which is what a lot of people do. Just think about it this way. You go to see Shadow of the Erdtree. Okay, I want to watch it. Oh, well, you can't just watch it. You got to go to the archive stream that Phil did on Friday. You got to fast forward through all the music that plays first. You got to fast forward through the entire podcast he did first. You got to fast forward through the commercial breaks. You got to then get to the gameplay. Oh, by the way, he took a break during the gameplay. You got to fast forward through the break. So you got to do all this fucking crazy work just to watch my gameplay of Shadow of the Erdtree. And I know that a lot of people do it that way because my wife and I have watched other creators. We like their content, but it's a hassle to watch because they only put out the archive stream. Can I be honest?
I think it's lazy.
I think that's very lazy, that if you want to have an on-demand audience, you should put in extra work to make your content digestible and easily watchable to that on-demand audience. It shouldn't just be big blob of a 6-hour stream with a bunch of bullshit in it that they don't want to see. It should be segments of each thing, and they don't do that. A lot of people just... When I do my content, I am literally recording and streaming at the same time. I'm doing that right now to this podcast. I have my graphics card actually converting this video file into data. I have my CPU recording this as an on-demand video locally to my hard drive. And then I upload all the segments of this broadcast as separate videos. The podcast is one video. And then I'll have 3 videos of an hour of length each, of an hour of gameplay each. So now our digestible videos, individual names so you know what happens in said video, individual thumbnails so you see what happens in said video, all put into a playlist in number, easy to watch, easy to find out what you're trying to look at, easy to eat. But ultimately, what ended up happening was, no exaggeration, I spent almost $3,000 on this PC. And when I got it, Immediately, I said, let's do it. Let's play a game. Let's play Rage. Remember, Rage had just come out 10 years ago? And immediately, it was completely choppy. And I was like, what the fuck? Over the last couple of years, I finally started to see the writing on the wall. You started to see all the signs that the thing is getting very old, and I'm going to have to migrate soon. For example, half the fans on the thing are dying now. The back fan died. 2 side fans died, 1 side fan died, and 1 of the processor heatsink fans died. The other major problem is on the storage hard drive, every once in a while, files corrupt. For example, yesterday, I'm doing my React show, and I cut it into 6 videos, right? Out of the 6 videos, I go to play one, it just refuses to play. It loads infinitely, it won't play. Then I go to try to do something else, my whole PC lags up. Uh-oh, I got to restart. I mean, I can't take it anymore. How inept can you be at your job? It's an ongoing issue. So I got fans dying on me. I got hard drive that's probably on the way out, correct? What else? And what's next is the question.
Begging.
It absolutely makes you nervous when you're working with a PC for 10 years and you're starting to see these things start to die. It's like, oh boy, it's end of life. It's coming, right? So that being said, the last couple of years, I've been looking to do an upgrade. And the price ranged anywhere from like $1,700 up to over $3,000, depending on what I needed, right? What I wanted. I could never really pull the trigger on it. And the reason being,
I just have had bad luck.
so for example, last year, just to give you a preface here, last year, I'm thinking this might finally be the year that I can actually afford to get a new PC. I'm very excited about this. So I'll think about saving up. And then I had a series of things happen behind the scenes, some medical stuff that happened that cost me a lot of money out of pocket that I wasn't expecting. Then we had our tire stolen off of our car, and not just the tire, but the entire wheel assembly. That cost me hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to replace on the fly, which I had to do right away because we needed a car to get to work with my wife.
Then our food disposal broke, and we're hungry now.
That cost us, you know, like $400 or $500 to get an instant replacement for that or whatever. And I could keep going on and on because it's just thing after thing after thing after thing. There's always fucking something that happens that's going to cost you money. It really sucks. I'm not going to sit here and cry, right, about it. I'm just going to move on positively. Now, we've talked about the possibility that, hey, why don't I do like a fundraiser event? Why don't I do a special marathon stream to raise money for a new PC, right? And I'll be honest with you guys, I think it would work. I think if I did that, you guys would rally and support me, and we would be able to raise the money. But there's a problem. You guys are not a money pit. You guys are not an endless supply of financing. False. Wrong. And if I ask you for that, hey, could we do a special event to raise money for a PC or whatever? What's going to end up happening is, after the event ends, probably all support for my streams will dry up for like a month. But guess what? That's my regular income that I need to pay all my bills and stuff. So sadly, I'm in a situation where, what can I say?
Hint, 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 hint.
You know, I don't think there's any way to really finance a new PC at this time. Just, again, being transparent here, which I've talked about over the years, things would have been perfectly fine if the U.S. economy didn't go for a downturn the last few years. Because I have things going for me. For example, I have a lot of equity in my home. Tons. But I can't do anything with it because interest rates and inflation in the United States are sky high. If I were to try to do anything like refinance my house right now, I would end up paying more than I pay now because interest rates have skyrocketed since I bought this house 10 years ago. All right? Our government is failing us. Everything is way more expensive, and they're not doing anything competent to stop it. They claim they are. Oh, look, we'll keep raising interest rates more. The prices are still high. So obviously raising interest rates isn't fixing the problem. You idiots, all you're doing is hurting the common person, but they don't care because they're not affected. They're all rich.
Dude's making it rain money. Trump is love. Trump is life.
I'm stuck. Financially, I'm stuck where I am.
I don't have enough money to be buying a $3,000 PC.
Hint, hint.
And I'm nervous that this PC is going to crap out. And so I am then going to migrate over from my PC to my wife's PC. My wife has a PC she built, well, she didn't build, she bought it in 2017. All right. Today we're actually, right now we're going to discuss the specs because I looked into them yesterday. All right. Her PC is much better than mine. And she only used it for like a year. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at a minor, but still improvement to the CPU. Likely a huge improvement to the GPU. doubling my RAM, still having ample storage and everything to store my files. Okay.
Now, I'm certainly not saying that this is going to be a situation where I'm going to be using this PC for 10 years.
You know, am I still going to be able to game and everything on there? No, I'm not. I'm not going to be able to game and you know, stream and record at the same time. It's just not going to work. It's the same situation as my PC now. If I try to do that, everything's going to chop up and lag up. So, you know, it's not necessarily a band-aid. It definitely is an improvement, and it's needed at this point. This is going to make it so that I'm not in any kind of risk that at any moment my PC will have something that fizzles out, like the hard drive's not going to fry on me and I lose all my storage, or you know, the fans all die and the thing overheats or anything like that. I shouldn't have any risk of that. Maybe this will give me monies. Boom, right there.
Fuck you.
So, hint hint. So, hint hint. So, hint hint.